that we're paying France a lot of money to stop these people coming over here. And that seems to be the continuing policy. And like I say, France is knowing, why would France stop them? They're no longer France's problem. If they send them over to you, Dubai, off you go, England's that way. You know, there's absolutely nothing. They're taking the money and laughing. They have to be. So just a little bit more on that is an article from Sky News. And it says, this is from a couple of weeks back, around the same time, France calls plan to turn back channel migrants, financial blackmail. It's already saying we're not going to do, you know, I mean, how much money now are we going to pay to France? It was already saying, give you a break. We'll take the money, but give, you know, this is, they're turning back the boats. It's not going to, they're not going to do it. France is not going to accept this. The article says France has called plans to turn back migrants attempting to cross the channel, financial blackmail, and insisted the UK must honour its commitments. In a tweet, Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said France will not accept any practice that goes against maritime law nor financial blackmail. In a separate letter leaked to the British media, he said that forcing boats back to the French coast would be dangerous and insisted that safeguarding human lives at sea takes priority over considerations of nationality, status, and migratory policy. There you have it. There you have it. And it's an invitation by France. All you have to do is get here. Nationality doesn't matter. Your immigration status doesn't matter. All you have to do is get here, and the bleeding hearts will hand you Europe. It's yours. Just come over, take it. Take it. We will give you everything you need. And the poor taxpayer will fund it all. They'll work longer hours. They'll get sod all services themselves. They'll just pay for you. But come over. So Priti Patel's plan is to redirect people back towards France. And France is already saying, no, not having it. So the plan is bust immediately. It's a ridiculous plan. It seems to me that Priti Patel is becoming more and more ridiculous as time goes on. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether she's scraping and scrambling around for any old thing to get a headline that makes it look like she cares about this. That is absolutely what's going on. These are the people who govern us. These are the people who so many British citizens think are somehow more knowledgeable or smarter than they are. This is not smart. We are governed by fools. Fools. Anyone who come up with that plan is a fool. And already we all should have known and would have known. I would have known that there's no way France is going to go along with this. France doesn't want these people. Absolutely staggering. This is the Daily Mail article I was going to tell you about. So, Border Force official carries screaming boy to safety after packed migrant boat is intercepted in Channel, while RNLI help more asylum seekers ashore in Kent. That's the headline from the Daily Mail. They are laying it on thick. Screaming boy is in the headline. Help more asylum seekers is in the headline. We're being lied to. This is supposed to be a conservative newspaper, and I mean small c conservative. It may well still be on the side of the Conservative Party, but the Conservative Party is about as conservative as the Socialist Worker Party at this point. And they're lying to us. Lying. It's giving a figure for the year of 16,299. We've got to do something about this. We really, really do have to do something about this. It is getting steadily worse. One from Elaine Jennings. Hereford has announced we are taking Afghans. We can't house our own people and we don't want them. What are the chances these councils are being paid a lot of money to agree to this invasion? Nail on the head, Elaine. That's exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. Councils are being given. This is, France talks about financial blackmail. That's financial blackmail. That's what's happening. Councils are being given money for this. Now, the central government has no money for you or I. The central government has no money for the tens of thousands of people already on the streets from this country, but it has plenty of money to give councils for illegal immigrants. Labour will make apparently credible promises, but they won't deliver anything. I'm not even sure, Rat Race, that that's true. They are promising to become the greenest government. Greener than the Tories? The Tories are claiming that ground, I'm afraid. 250,000 homeless in England, hardly any BAME. That's an interesting point. Let me see. Send in the Navy, scoop them up and dump them a mile off the French coast, let them swim away. Emma again says, I have been hearing reports that government are building a number of mega prisons in the country. Do you know what these are supposed to be for? I have heard of that as well. I'll tell you what I'll do. Before next week, I'm looking for a pen to write this down. I won't forget. I'll write it down afterwards. Before next week, I'll have a closer look at that. If France didn't want them, France shouldn't have allowed them into France in the first place. Well, quite, but France is governed by the same globalists that we are governed by. I mean, Europe is open. Europe is open, and anyone who wants to come here can come here. So that applies to France as well as everywhere else. France is getting this mass wave of migration as well. But France has the advantage of being able to get rid of some by sending them to us. That's what's happening. And the idea that they're going to do anything about it because we've paid them a few £1 million, they're already telling us they're not going to. And yet your money is still going to France, even with all this. Absolute. And look, we are governed by the worst kind of people. And what always infuriates me and saddens me in equal measure is how many decent, honest British people believe that this lot are somehow smarter than they are. Somehow we should let them govern. They know best. We'll leave it to them. We'll let them tell us what to do. We'll let them dictate and direct our lives. We'll let them do it. Most of us are both more honourable, more honest, more decent and smarter than the 650 that are sitting in the House of Commons. Most of us. And yet somehow we through fear, we let them dictate to us, even though we're smarter and more decent people than they are. It's very, very sad. Let's get together, talk about what we can do to save the country that we all love from these idiots that are ruling it. And they are idiots. Look, jet skis. What more do you need?